think I'm on. Welcome back. I'm going to give you a short update on the status of New York City, and I'm able to walk around now in the city and stop at a terrace, 100 terrace. Restaurants are open. You can sit down on the terrace and eat. You can use the restroom. So, from my point of view, this is a big step forward. So I have done some thinking about the cause of the shutdown, and it is commonly, almost universally believed that the cause of this shutdown, this horror, was the coronavirus. The other thing I did yesterday is I went over to Burlington to buy some socks. It made me want to cry. A huge empty space with one cashier. I mean, there were more personnel in the store than there were shoppers. I was one of a handful of shoppers in this. You've been in Burlington coat factories. They're enormous, right? It just made me want to cry. I mean, because I could see right there, what this shutdown has done to our society. It's heartbreaking. Okay, so if you think that the shutdown was caused by the coronavirus, you're wrong. The shutdown was caused by government, American government. Okay? Here's a legal concept you need to learn. The coronavirus was a remote cause. The proximate cause was government action in ordering the shutdown. All right. Who told us? Who persuaded government to shut down? Right? The experts, the disease epidemiologists, the experts. Okay. But wait a minute. They're the same experts who told us that if we didn't shut down, millions would die. Millions. All right. So now, at the point that we're many months into this nightmare, we can answer that question. How? Have you ever heard of Sweden? All right. Sweden has a big city. Okay. Go download your Worldometer, WORLDOMETER, if you want to verify anything I'm going to tell you now. So, Sweden did not shut down. So, Sweden should have more deaths per capita than we do, shouldn't it? I mean, it should have exponentially more deaths, right? Well, it turns out that without any shutdown at all, Sweden had approximately as many deaths per capita. Let's be exact. We have 145,000 deaths per total we had a population of 330 million people. 145,000 deaths when I looked on the Worldometer this morning. Okay. Sweden had 560 deaths. Well, that's actually more per capita than we did. How much more? Well, you can check the arithmetic. They have 10 million people. That's approximately 175,000. If you multiply it times 33, 10 million, we're 330 million. We're 33 times as big populace. All right, so 10 times, there are 33 times their deaths is 175,000 deaths. Okay, but let's check another figure here, another big factor. The average age of an American is 38. The average age of Sweden is 45. Swedish life expectancy Well, I'll start with ours. American life expectancy is 78, so I've got one more year to live. Move it up. Okay, American life expectancy 78. Swedish life expectancy 82. Now, why is that important? Well, if you look at Italy's deaths, most of its deaths were of people that were 80 or older. That's maybe it's that the average death was 80. One of those two things. But anyway, you see that that's the magic number, and that's true here also. I mean, the older the people are, the higher the incidence of death from coronavirus. So the evidence is this is evidence that our shutdown probably had no impact on the number of deaths. Well, what did happen? We now know what happened. We know why people die. I'm here. I'm 77. I'll be 78 in January. Okay. We believe that maybe 1/3 of New York City was infected at one time. We'll find out in the fullness of time just how many were infected by the antibody tests. So all that matters is these people are all running around like me, no residuals. So all that really matters is the number of deaths. And catching, see, this little punkster, what's his name? Famous father, I can't think of his name. Raising hell with Trump, Oh, what about all these people infected? Oh, I can't. Chris Wallace. Disgusting. I mean, this is a man, I don't want to attack Chris Wallace. I want to attack the media. I want to attack our lousy, shitty government that did this to us. Okay? The coronavirus didn't do this to us. Okay? Our government did. Our bad government. Our miserable, pathetic government did this to us. Unnecessarily. Sweden is a proof. You'll see the same. Sweden's not an anomaly. Other countries that did not shut down had the same experience. Belarus. Okay. Oh, I am so pissed off. I am so disgusted because this destroyed people's happiness, their peace of mind. Even me, who's never worked in his life. It made my life miserable. All of the things I enjoyed doing, I couldn't do. I still can't do a lot of them. I can't go to the Met, Guggenheim anymore. I can't do these things. All closed down. It's sickening. It's sickening. But see, this is a great lesson, in my college education, in thinking, analyzing, and thinking. What we do as Americans is we let other people think for us. Government, Chris Wallace, the media, they do our thinking. They tell us what to think. So that makes it easy for us, right? We don't have to think. Problem is that they're lying to us. Now I'm going to teach you about experts, okay? I'm an expert at experts. I worked for 34 years with experts, proving injuries. So that was essential part of one of the biggest aspects of my practice as a trial lawyer, proving injuries. Now, but I'm not going to talk about my cases. Maybe I'll wander over to that subject. But I'm going to talk about the medical examiner and the Epstein autopsy. Right? She did not have a economic motivation like the experts in my cases. This is a funny story. Let's talk about her first, the medical examiner. Her agenda was uh, vocational, was her job, medical examiner for the government, and maybe political. Okay, but certainly vocational. She wanted to keep her boss happy, her employer. So what did she do? She lied. I mean, blatantly, obviously lied. All right, and you look at my YouTube. Here it is. Here it is. 11 months after Epstein's death, we finally see the autopsy photographs of Epstein's neck. Okay, I mean, before they did the autopsy, right? What do we see? Okay, we see a band of a bloody wound from the back of his neck all the way to the other side, any here on each side. See, even bloody wound. It looks like it's maybe half an inch thick. Fresh red blood. Okay. Now we see these pictures which we've long seen to prove to us, to persuade us that he hanged himself somehow. Okay? We see these two homemade nooses made with orange cloth. A 5-year-old knows that you cannot cut your skin with a bed sheet. You certainly can't, make a wound like this. It's totally impossible. So now we know. All right. So this instrument that was used to strangle Epstein was not left in his cell. Ergo, someone took it out. I wonder if it was the person who used it. Of course it was. The medical examiner in Epstein's case knew this and lied. Okay? It's all on an earlier YouTube video. You can see this. Just for chuckles. For 34 years, all right, I have an injured person, okay? Very often they had non-objective neck and or back symptoms from a rear ender. I was a whiplash willy, yes. Among other things. I had like a whiplash willy mill, okay? That was the best. I didn't have to work on the cases. I sent them to, any doctor I sent them to would give them a permanent injury. And you got a permanent injury simply by having subjective complaints for more than 6 months. And then you got a chronic, permanent back strain. And if you were telling the truth, well, that was a valid diagnosis. But there was, there were other ways for the orthopedist to range of motion, and but muscle spasm, and they would palpate these things, muscle spasm, and find limitations of range of motion. So maybe I'm being a little hyperbolic, but I think it was primarily what made the case worth anything was subjective complaints of pain. I'll tell you, I didn't try. I remember trying 10 of those cases in 34 years. But because the insurance had 10,000 policy limits, and we pay it sooner or later. All I can do is wait, push papers around, wait for them to get tired of me, and offer the policy limits. Now, on the other hand, what did I just say? I said, no matter what chiropractor, orthopedist, neurologist, I would get a permanent injury diagnosis. On the other hand, no matter how severe the injury was, the insurance company was entitled to an independent medical exam, to send my client to the doctor of the insurance company's choice, and for 90% of the times it was Dr. Frank Chris, who's gone to his reward long ago. That's a good thing about being in my position. Nobody can lie. You can't libel a dead person. can't defame a dead person. Okay? Slander and libel. Okay? Those are two forms of defamation. You can't do that. Dead person has no claim. As a state has no claim for libel, slander. So I have to worry about that. All right. So without exception, I mean, he must have done 2,000, certainly 1,000 of my cases over 30 years, probably 32 years maybe, and he never found any permanent injury in anybody, including a man who had a broken leg and it healed with a deformity. His feet didn't line up. His right foot was deviated permanently, like by 3-4 inches. Okay? No, that was not a permanent injury, according to him. He had no disability inside. See, so what's the point here? The point is that an expert, an American expert, is someone who is paid to advocate a position. Okay? It's simple. Period, paragraph. That's it. That's what an expert is. All right. So our idiot government listened to experts like Fauci, okay, tell them that if they didn't shut down the economy, millions would die. And it was a lie. Why did they do this? Who cares? I mean, I'm only speculating, but I mean, I would suspect that these people want to be important. They want to get attention. They want to get celebrity. I don't know why. I don't care. It doesn't matter why. They weren't telling the truth. I mean, where did they pull this figure out of their derriere? So there's millions of people would die if we don't lock down. Now we know that there's no evidence that lockdowns had any impact at all. And the reason we know that is because of our New York experience. That Governor Cuomo told us, in his almost daily briefings, that he had learned that 60% of hospital admissions in New York City for COVID virus involved people who had sheltered in place, distance, masked. I think that's a pretty good sample, pretty sizable sample, representative sample. No, I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure people's lives have been saved. But if you're 80 years old and you're overweight and you have diabetes and high blood pressure, it's on you. It's on you. I'm going to be 80 years old in 2.5 years. Okay, and I'm still going to be running sprints. Okay, and I don't intend, I intend to live forever. I intend to be young forever. That's my attitude. Certainly be in my present state in 2.5 years. If you want to let yourself go, you don't want to exercise, it's on you. It's a homie say. It's on you. You catch a bad cold, pneumonia, you die. It's on you. I mean, as Pogo said, we have met the enemy and it is us. That's my major contribution, to thought, the philosophy of the American people. If they want to know why they don't have any money in the bank, they should look in the mirror. Don't blame Donald Trump for that. Look in the mirror. You're going to see who blew your money. Okay? You're going to see who did it. And you know this too. This is what I have to say, Democrats. Don't do it. Don't do it, Democrats. Don't do it. Okay? Because look at, you're not paying taxes now. You're not paying personal income tax. I don't know about state tax, but I suspect that they don't pay that either. you're getting up to $70,000 a year in transfer payments, and you've got 4 children. That's probably outdated. It's probably more now, my figure. Okay. So you're getting all of this from government, and you're not paying taxes. And you want more? Well, you're taking a hell of a chance here. You're taking a hell of a chance, my fine feathered friends. Because see, you should be worried if you're getting that much from the cow. You're milking the cow. You're getting all this milk, and you want to. You gotta. There's an old saying, European saying. If you want to milk the cow, you have to feed the cow. You have to pay taxes, and you're already not paying taxes. But you don't want to make more demands on government because you're already getting so much. Don't rock the boat. That's a better metaphor. Don't rock the boat. I don't think Joe Biden will do anything. If he's elected, I don't think he's going to change anything. I think he's going to be super conservative and careful. I don't think he's going to do any of this stuff he's promising to do. He's too smart for that. Joe Biden is going to be the last guy who's going to rock the boat. He'll say anything to get elected, but he's not going to do anything for you. I mean, you're already getting too much. It's already a tremendous stressor on government, which you're already getting. So don't expect to get. There's no more. There's no more where that comes from. There's no more to get. See, that's why I need to take over the country. I have a brain, all right? These jokers that work in government offices and Department of Education, Department of this, Department of that. Okay, they don't have a brain. Okay, and they've got all kinds of agendas. And they did this to us. Our government did this to us. The coronavirus did not lock us down. Our government locked us down. You gotta watch all of my YouTubes because I've got so much to teach you, and I'm teaching you things that you should have learned in high school. I should have known these things as a teenager, but we Americans, we are miseducated. We're miseducated about so many things. Most of the important things we're miseducated. It's okay, for example. Oh, it's fine, to go and pollinate, and beget, and then if you're not comfortable there, in that family environment anymore, your wife's getting fat or hungry or whatever, and you'd rather look for greener pastures. Well, it's okay. We want you to be happy. See? So that's okay. You can walk off like your family, and don't get married. You probably will be hunted down, and you'll probably never pay any child support. So it's okay to do that because you can be forgiven because of your own upbringing, and like you're an animal. See, like you're an animal. You're not a human being with a brain. You're an animal that's subject to environmental influences. So all these bad environmental. How much environmental influence I had from my parents and society? Zero. I learned how to talk. I learned arithmetic. Some other things in elementary school. But then I just assumed that people were full of shit. And now I found out they were. I listened to everybody, and I took the tests and exams and so on. But the sorriest people in this country are our teachers. They are so sorry. In high school, I remember going to the principal's office and saying, "Mr. Bentley," the guy looked like he had been sent out from the central casting. He wore beautiful white hair, wore an expensive suit. Carvel Bentley. That was the name, Carvel. C-A-R-V-E-L. Okay. Really well presented man. I told him, I can't deal with this anymore. I'd have to sit in this history class for an hour, 3 times a week. I don't remember how many times, maybe it was 4 times. And our history teacher has never mentioned history. He talks about his life and how his wife died. He starts crying in front of us almost every day. He tells us the same stories about how Roosevelt was a Jew, things like crazy stuff. Over and over again. I can't stand it anymore. You know, the guy is so depressed. You know, he should be in an institution. I can't think of his name. God, he was dead for 30 years. He's old now. You know, I talked about how they let me teach the English class. They wouldn't open their mouths in front of me, so from 9th grade on, the English teachers. I mean, none of them demonstrated any real interest in their subjects. What were they doing teaching history? They had no interest in history. They didn't have anything to say about it. They just, you know what they would do? I worked in the factory, 3 factories. I would lose the jobs. One summer in Plymouth, I'll tell you what summer it was. 1960. Summer 1960. And a wonderful experience because I learned what goes on in the factory. Everybody working in a factory has a foreman. The foreman is assigned to certain number of workers. And the foreman's job is to make people work. That's it. He's there to make them work, to drive them, see? Well, that's what an American teacher does. He or she assigns work, and you have to do your work, and you have to hand it in, and you have to take your test, see? So the teacher is making you learn what's in the book. Okay? That's all they're doing. Well, what do we need them for? We can do this home in front of a computer. Where you say, well, most people won't do it. So what? So what? Then they don't belong there. And as I've said, I'll say it again. Most Americans are not junior high school material. We talk about college material. I'm talking about junior high school material. Most Americans are not junior high school material. They don't learn anything that you learn in junior high school. Ask them what continent the United States is on. They don't know. You know what a continent is? You know how many there are? No. In my poem, I didn't get to my tiny tot. He's a cracker dog from Alabama. I described him as anyway, Tiny Tot did not know what war Abraham Lincoln was associated with or George Washington. Anything you learn, and he's typical, that's the way they all are. They don't know. Because they're not interested. You know, and you're just warehousing the poor kids, and you're torturing them, sitting there, making them learn things they're going to forget. I'm talking about, you know, somewhere between 40 and 60% of the population are like that. And God bless them, they were born that way, and there's nothing's going to change them. And let them go on with their lives. And, you know, teach them things that they need to know. You know, I mean, they have to know. You know, like how to write a check, how to balance a checkbook. The country is so screwed. The country is in denial. The country has no desire to understand what's going on with its people. And then this coronavirus was weaponized. I've got a delightful new internist, George Babitsky. He's a Russian with a strong Russian accent in Queens. And he's an endocrinologist, internist. And he says the coronavirus will be over on November 4th. He told me that yesterday when I went to see him. It will be over on November 4th, the coronavirus. No more talking. It's true. It's just sickening. All of the lying, the vitriol, the partisanship is sickening. It has polluted our zeitgeist. It's a form of pollution. This Trump hatred. Why do we hate him like he did to women? That's what we're talking about. 30 years ago or something. They're dredging this up, and anything they can think of. It's all they don't talk about his accomplishments or failures. He failed us on the coronavirus, but he's only human. Anybody else probably, except me. That's why you have to write me in. I'll give you my name, my full name. Then you can write me in. November 3rd. Write in my name. And if everybody writes me in, I want the black people are going to write me in. I promise you. I promise you they will. Because they deserve. I'm going to give them their 40 acres and a mule. I'm going to make sure they all get 40 acres. That alone should be enough to get me the black vote. But everybody should vote for me. Because for some reason I have a brain. Let me take over the country. Let me be trustee in bankruptcy. And I will turn things around before I die. I will turn everything around for you and we'll get rid of the national debt. And we'll become competitive in most areas. Huge trade surplus, eliminate crime. It's not going to be any crime. I'm on Citizen, and here I am in Queens, and being somebody with a knife all the time. I mean, every day it seems like somebody has a knife on right down the street here on Jamaica. Hey, there's not going to be any of that stuff. I'm going to crack down on that big time, and I'm going to give people incentive, not to commit. I have food lines with good food, and I have tents for people to sleep in, latrines. So don't worry. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of everybody, black and white. I'm gonna make people exercise. I'm gonna get after people. Exercise. And everybody needs to lose probably an average of 30 pounds. We need to get organized here. We need to get organized. We need, as the homies say, we need to get a grip. So we're out of control. This country is out of control. I could go on and on all day. I wanted to talk to you about how coronavirus didn't shut us down. Our government shut us down. Let's get a better government. Okay? That's my message for today. Unless I think of something else later.